Oh, hi Lola, how you doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Having technical difficulties.
Seems like it. That's okay. It's played out all right, so that's good. How's the day going? You just coming off of a shift?
Yeah, long, but it's good. I only had two admissions. There's three of us on tonight, so I think there were six total admissions, I think.
Oh, really? Okay. That's
Yeah.
not too bad, is it?
No, not too bad, especially because one day I had to do five by myself. So
Oh, okay. By yourself. All right. Well, that's not too bad then. At least
yeah.
you're there. Long day though. Sounds like it was 12 hours.
Yeah, it's from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay. That sounds like a blast. Well, you don't know what we're doing quite exactly here, so we'll just mess
Oh,
with it then.
yeah, no, don't worry.
But yeah, so we'll do a call effectively here and kind of show you the car. 'Cause I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
what have I told you so far about the car?
You were doing a collage kind of everybody's stuff onto your car?
Yes, kind of a play on the Mother's Day thing we did, which was
Yeah.
fun, right?
Mhm.
And then I don't know if you've seen any of the real pictures since you sent me that picture.
Oh, of the car? No.
Yeah, so all right, well, it'll be fun to show you kind of what's going on, and then we can talk about it more, of course, later as well. But yeah, let's go to the screen share thing. And so, this is the old school "You're My Sunshine." That part's going to go kind of in the inside door jambs of the car. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that should be fun. So you kind of keep that light bright on the inside, it doesn't lose its form. And, there's always the snake stuff and elements on the first one,
Mhm.
in the wheels, the Nightmare Before Christmas, it was done
Yeah.
before Christmas, and all these other fun little things, that you'd have to look to see, right? So this is the kind of more male side of the car, right? With me and Uncle Teddy. So the Shelby that you did though, your version or play on the Shelby will go there.
Ah, okay.
So he's
Yeah.
going to go there. That's S-Web's snake.
That's
This is
what's
the N for Nala. This is other stuff like the golden kind of ticket play. And then this says "You Make Me Glow in the Dark." I should get out these pictures if I can get them. I don't know if I can get them easily here today on this, but I'll show you later of how they just installed it yesterday. It looks super cool.
Oh, so they put it on then.
There yesterday, yeah, they put it on, and so the car's got its base black
Okay.
matte wrap now, and then the snake is really cool. I'll send you a graphic of it and how they kind of did it. It's really fun. And then so then I did this kind of thing with Pablo, who helped to create the whole car effectively, because
Yeah.
there's some co-creators. It's made it really fun, which is kind of the reason we're doing this stuff, because me just droning on about what the heck I did isn't nearly as interesting as what other people were thinking or did or otherwise. So this is actually just to do it quick, right? Because we'll go into yours, which is more fun or important, but we'll give you the overall design. That's mom's little thing she drew projecting onto a illustration Grandpa did, so
Funny.
it's just like, messing around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously you maybe help mom and co-creating this and giving her some ideas she mentioned, looping in and out. And then this is Grandpa Jones. He'd done Mama book for art. I said I had to do some of it, and so I
Yeah.
put that on the front as well, just to tie it all in together, and put it front and center on that. Those guys will go in instead of the snakes that are on the car and the wheels looking back at each other, though they're facing the other direction, so they're not lost touch, right? They're still respective to one another.
Mhm.
So that's fun. Nala's got some stuff we're putting on the moon roof that's fun with family, and that's kind of moon shell.
Mhm.
Oh, play off the shell B thing and other stuff like that, a rose, or however you want to view it as. That's the fun part about it. This part's TBD, but we'll ignore that. The the M is for meta, of course. Katie did this guy here, and
Yeah.
mommy, whatever you want to go with, did this Shelby. So you can see how hers is different from what you created, right?
Yeah.
You don't see what someone's doing. They're just completely different, but they have, you incorporated some of the turtle stuff, which is part of like a sea turtle kind of premise we have, which we'll share. But and so Katie did that one, and then this is the side where you're properly got your features then, right? Well, you're kind of opposite sides of the car. You got
Yeah.
right, and then the back left, right? Because you got the
Yeah.
shell B, and then you got, obviously yours are probably the more ornate, fun ones, right? But they're quite nicely highlighted actually in the car.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to tell me kind of what you thought of when I had approached you to ask you to do something, if I didn't give enough instructions, if I could have done better, if it was good that I kept you in the dark, and then how you came about creating it, any of those things, just whatever springs to mind, really, right? Those are some prompts.
Um, so I guess it did obviously help that you wanted something to do with snakes, and then I was trying to do something that was going to be partially kind of your personality and like just life in general. So that's kind of like where I got the idea of doing at least 2 snakes and not just one. And I think also just because it was going to be like black on black or at least kind of neutral tones, it kind of made me want to think more of traditional stuff. Not that necessarily what I did was traditional, but just kind of playing with
Not
that.
traditional.
Like, what?
I said definitely not traditional, but yeah.
No, not traditional, but like I mean traditional tattoos, I think more so, not so
Yeah,
much
cool.
traditional
Well, I like
cards.
that you went with the tattoo thing, right? Because that was kind of a play on the Oaxaca
Yeah.
experience I had with Alonzo with this Dr. Locre character. So it's kind of cool that actually it is that tattoo style. I appreciate that because it gives that weird dynamic. But yeah, go ahead. Different story.
Different story. I think the other thing too, I mean, in a sense, I guess I've never done anything for a wrap for a car, so I wasn't really sure what I could or couldn't do, or what they can or can't do with what I've done. So, because
Find
looking
that out. I don't know yet.
I don't know either. Because looking at it right now, like it makes me curious, like if they're gonna leave the white in the back behind the snakes and the flowers, or if they're gonna like make it
Well, I
more.
think this is the way it's gonna be looking, right? So it'll be more, it's all reflective stuff, right? So it'll be interesting to
Yeah,
see.
yeah, it's just yeah, because there's some of the spaces like in between the snakes and stuff like that where it would be like negative space. It's kind of interesting because they do put the white back there, so it does kind of make it pop in a different way than I had planned, but in a good
That's
way.
like
'Cause
half the fun was kind of also letting Pablo run with some of recreations on the creations, right? So it was like
yeah,
it's like man, yeah, the front we ended up turning into red. I didn't expect we're gonna do that with the 3 things that we turn into a snake
yeah.
tongue. So it's like the fun part is like you don't know what the heck it's gonna be rejigged as, right? So it's kind of like you said, cool that it pops more now.
Yeah, especially because I wasn't really sure how much detail I could or couldn't put into it without it being lost or like with what was actually able to be done.
Yeah,
Like
and
it's
even I don't know still.
yeah. So and then the way that I designed it too, once again, first time doing this. So I wasn't sure for me, if you give me a space, I want to draw it in the space. So instead of just drawing a thing and sticking it on, I wanted it to be part of the car. Like I wanted it to be kind of like a tattoo, part of the body, as opposed to just kind of being slapped on there. So I intentionally kind of did some spaces that I knew like the leaf would get cut off or the petal or something like that, kind of hoping that the snake's heads at least would be in the car, and then everything else kind of can be chopped as Pablo sees
As
fit.
needful for execution. Yeah, when the
Yeah,
execution comes, that's when
yeah,
executioners may or may not cut off your heads, but that's not the
yeah,
snake heads. I think the snake heads will exist, but
yeah,
it's fun. We have some
yeah.
plays with hangman and executioners apparently in the car.
Yeah, so
Uh
it's definitely interesting though, because trying to get it to curve across a wheel, like, that particular area, it's kind of not that I'm a tattooist, but like it's kind of like trying to fit a tattoo on a curved body, I guess, which is like, you got to play with the shapes that you're given,
yeah.
the space that you're given to create on, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't have an easy space. It is a bit tricky because it has the narrow range there, right? But it
Yeah.
allows for kind of some serpentine play because it has
Yeah.
that the arcing and movement in it, right? So
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
funny
that
to
is
see how
cool.
everyone kind of, and you saw what I kind of played with, which was more of words, and you saw how
Yeah.
LWeb made his kind of fun and cute, playful snake again, like he did with the flower for Mother's
Yeah.
Day. So, Katie, she did it like the back of a napkin effectively when she was in Europe traveling, but it's pretty
It's
cool.
got a story.
No, it's really fun. It
Yeah.
does. It has a story, and that's the whole thing that's cool about it all, right? And then yours is super fun and intricate and something that I could never do that is fun to see how it all came out. So it's like yeah, it's super cool to see all the differences, with it, right? Is there
Yeah.
a part of that you like the most or hard to say?
Um, I think there are definitely things that I like, and then there are things that I wish I kind of would change. So I was trying to imitate basically more of a tattoo style. So some of the ways that the snake is turning wouldn't necessarily be what you would see in real life. Like the one that's more of a calm snake, you kind of probably would maybe see a snake like that. The one that's more like attacking, you wouldn't normally see a snake's body twisting like
You're
that.
inverting it,
But
but it's kind of fun though that it shows an extra dimension to it, right? So I actually like
yeah,
that because it gives you a,
yeah,
you can look at it from like, not infinite plays, but whatever else, just that there's that other dimension, and the snake can turn over also, right?
yeah.
And then he can recoil back to the top. So it actually gives him a flow that you don't imagine otherwise, right?
Yeah. I think I'm also the thing I liked too is that like you can see the snakes from the flowers. I was a little afraid that I was gonna put too much detail in it and that they'd all kind of just get lost into a big mush. So I'm glad that didn't happen. And I think it's like I've always kind of been really fascinated by tattoos, and I of course have never had an opportunity to like learn it, and I don't think I probably ever will. So getting to do something like this is like fake dabbling in that kind of sense. So it's kind of fun to try to do a different style that I haven't done before and try to like match someone's ideas to kind of what would be on display essentially. But
Yeah, cool. So
yeah.
this is so I'll show you a quick picture of what it looked like the other day. It's like a
Oh,
Back to
yeah.
the Future car. Yeah. Was that, it's not what it was yesterday, because I don't have that like on this
Yeah.
easily. I haven't got it on the photos. But so this is, I kind of put Erica and mom stuff, in the front and the center. Mom
Hmm.
down there, and then that, and then just a lot of play with kind of words,
Yeah.
right what's left, but obviously left and right are on purpose, backward, and all these other things, right? And then I put the little sea turtle boy Kong did a sketch of
Yeah.
there. Pablo's brother's like also a super creative like you, and he just had done this Michael Jordan, and obviously we had some 23 and 32 play. So I was like, well, let's put that in there, because he
Oh,
just
cool.
randomly pulled it up to show me a couple of things that his brother had done, and this was this cool
Mhm.
stitch art Michael Jordan thing, right? So we built him into this, doing a slam dunk, and Meta's been into to basketball, right? So it's all
Yeah.
been kind of a go with the feel thing, right? So that's like
Hmm.
the function of the eel, is to be electrically charged and uh,
Hmm.
and discharging and whatever else. And so this is just kind of a fun way to play on that and incorporate some, Florida and fun into it, right?
Hmm.
So that's Pablo, who was helping out with all this, and whose brother was also able to do stuff in the project. And then I'll show you also what his son did, which was fun too. So we just incorporate some randomness to it, right? So, and
Yeah.
then the back, is fun. It's got stuff anywhere ranging from the Weavers play into, some fun stuff that we have on Meta's walls,
Mhm.
that was, done by the one artist. And then that's the one his son did, the Pablo did, right? So
Mhm.
his son had done. So, Nala did these moons will light up just like the other stuff will, which
Okay.
I'll send you. And then I kind of played with some of the things Boy Kong said I could use on the car. And that as the light fades, the rabbit actually gets bigger, but these will be all reflective, so it'll bounce back if you're looking at it from the right light as brighter than whatever's glowing, right? So
Mm.
it should be a lot of interesting little fun with all of it. And that's kind of
Yeah.
what the overall picture is. And then I did this one where I effectively it actually wasn't me, but with a bunch of people, but out them knowing. But then I told them about what was going on. Effectively did like 8 hours or so of kind of observation, and then spent the next day, and it being probably something around 240 images that we kind of created, and then put it on the back of the car, so you have to see it from above really to know
Oh,
it's
okay.
there. So like you have to have a drone perspective, or just take the time to look or ask or whatever else. And a lot of people don't take the time to look or ask or find out what's going on with each other, or
Yeah.
what anything means, or or it's just too much of an inconvenience. And that's kind of like one of those, okay, well, you can use all aspects of the car and make it fun, and then it's all
Hmm.
plays with perspective, and for projection and reflection, right after kind
Yeah.
of initial conceptions of ideas. So the first car was, or truck, was kind of that projection, right, of show some light and some life after COVID and dark stuff. And
Hmm.
we're transitioning in toward, it was a winter solstice, so kind of play that side to where it's going to get darker anyway, right? And then you have the light to try to make people smile and feel better, and know that there's some sunshine or people there for them, right? And then
Yeah.
now this one is dark side's not bad, it's just different, and you can express it differently, and it's a pause for reflection. It's not a stop or a halt. It's just a, okay, we'll see what the deal is here. And then,
Mhm.
this will show that, all these graphics should be in some way reflective, so that, you do need to have a potential angle, it will be brighter than you would expect if you flash a light on it and you actually, give that attention, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's not paying attention, it's giving attention, right? And so it should be fun, it plays off the other car in a fun way. It transitions from, just boy taking the brunt of creation for the car and then starts to incorporate other people and things. And then that
Yeah.
leads to further creations and conversations and dialogues and expressions. And that's the fun of it all, right? So,
Yeah.
so
I
hopefully it
think
was not a too tedious of a task and enjoyable.
yeah, I mean, it was definitely fun, definitely fun to try to teach mom how to use the program as well.
Well, that's
I
cool
still
though.
myself don't know how to use most of the things on there, so trying to teach her how to do it was kind of a learning experience for both of us as well.
Well, that's the cool part about it, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, even when we did one of these back graphics here, for kind of the company with me and Austin and Andre, is the same thing. It's like I only knew how to do certain aspects, but then
yeah,
Austin had good familiarity with this and logic and everything else, right? And everyone could kind of play around with it, and that was fun because it was like, oh, well, you learn a couple tricks that you didn't know were within, say, Procreate or whatever else, and you're like,
yeah,
okay, well, that's the fun part about it. It's that learning together, discussing it, figuring it out, and at least you guys are able to do that and kind of have some more bonding time over that while you were visiting her too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
um, the randomness makes it interesting. So
It's definitely nice too for me because like I don't really ever have a time to kind of sit down and do artwork because it just doesn't I just don't do it, you know? So I really only ever do it if it's for somebody else. And so it's kind of nice because you keep giving me these projects to do. So it does help me kind of have an outlet to go do something. Um, but also like and kind of still dabble in something that I
enjoy.
like, yeah, that I enjoy, but that I don't always take time for.
Yeah,
So
it's a way to express yourself. I think we all
yeah,
get removed and detached from that. I mean, I don't think I had done anything. At least you intermittently, I think, did some stuff for a while, but like, I don't think I'd done anything since like maybe it was like 11th grade until, even the last few
yeah,
years. And that was only really because like Nala in the old house kind of got me going with it again. And then it was a good way
yeah,
to bond. And you can see that. And it doesn't take much energy. And like that also broke down my barriers of what's mine, in part. And it was like, okay, well, she came in and she wanted to join and I'd done that,
yeah,
pink picture and just messing around with or white, it was white at the time or whatever, just trying to give some texture and play because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and that's
yeah,
the part about it. And that also allows you to do much more exploration. But so like knowledge came in and started to paint. I'm like, fuck. I was like, oh man, that's amazing. It's the best thing. It's like the
yeah,
co-creation. It's like then I've learned so much from her. If I would have, taken a back seat or negative on that or been upset that she ruined what I was considering mine, it would have completely like,
yeah,
changed, altered the path as the way our relationship and everything else is for us and others around. So it's funny how the little moments can go a long way. And it's just like, okay, well, can we
yeah,
take those and run with them in a good way, in a good
yeah,
light. So I'm
yeah.
glad to hear that at least it got you doing that. And, but yeah, obviously you can create anything. So that is
That is
amazing.
not
So
true. That is not true.
most things,
But
yeah,
but most things.
it's a
I think
function of
it is
time.
also nice, like, because your car is like an amalgamation or whatever you want to call it, of so many people's different styles and thoughts and ideas, and also like to try to reflect it back on what is important to you as well. So it's not only what we want are doing ourselves, but also something that we're doing for you. And then
So
like you
with
said,
me,
also,
right? It's
well,
like
yes, for
it's
you
like a
and with
forced
you.
incorporation. Yeah, for and
Yeah,
with.
for and with. And it is nice because you do have that connection, like sometimes it's so easy to lose connection, especially with all of us. We are all over the place, all of us are in different states right now. So it is nice to kind of have something that we can all be like, oh yeah, like I'm part of this project, part of a thing. You're not just like an individual floating around in the world lost by yourself, you can still be part of something. Whether that's a car or a community or whatever else, it's kind of a nice reminder, that you can
Yeah.
put a lot of different people together to create something really cool.
Well, I was thinking about it when I was walking the dog earlier, and it's again like part of what I put on there was, I left it blank in front so people can imagine it or not imagine it. It could be in regard to people, it could be in regards to anything you want to apply to it. It's what prompts you slash
Yeah.
us or however you want to view it. but I was like, oh, Lala made me
An
this
ant.
peasant,
Yeah.
that I created there. And so it was like this co-creation. Again, you helped put together. I'd have
Yeah.
forgot almost that I had done it and it existed, and then I started to mess around with Photoshop and that. I was like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's a co-creation thing right there already.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have, I never would have known or tried to do this, and I screwed up or got frustrated. So it's like some people just have skill sets that you don't have. And like, this is what happened with Pablo. I was like, man, I would spend 45 minutes attempting to edit a document, not a document, like a picture, right? In
Yeah.
less, like 3 seconds to 5 seconds, you get it done. I'm just like, oh my God. You got to appreciate, like, everyone has
Yeah.
something that is cool or unique or different that you don't do as
Yeah.
well as them. And that there's potential in sharing that stuff with each other anyway, and it's just like, not for gain, just for, it's entertaining and interesting too. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like, heck, like, it's amazing. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, going back to my whole not doing art thing, like a lot of times I just don't really feel like inspired or don't really have anything that I want to do. And so, you bringing ideas to me, it's nice because I can kind of take your idea and like run with it. I kind of need something to have as a jumping off point. I don't often just think of it
that's
on my
also
own.
great though, right?
So
Because it's the
yeah,
prompt, right? It's that,
yeah, exactly.
it's like the car thing. It's like the people who are working on the execution are amazing. They're such a huge
Mhm,
part of that actual art, right? But you
mhm,
also need to have ideas that prompt that. And as that co-creation respect that everyone's a creator effectively, from an executioner to a creator, it's something that we as society probably struggle with now, because everyone discounts ideas and says, oh, it's just the execution. You can't do it with it. But if you don't have an idea, you can't do anything.
yeah,
So it's like, it really all starts with ideas. That's what we
yeah,
we kind of are, and that's how it works. And people have lost touch with the fact that ideas are important, but also the ability
yeah,
to, like, it will have taken you years of working through ideas and mechanisms, which are the same kind of thing, to be able to do what you just did there, right? So I
mm,
can prompt you, but it's like, also, what prompts are you getting? What are you taking in? Like,
yeah,
who is prompting you? What are you listening to? What are you seeing? And it's like, they're all prompts, right? And it's
yeah,
just a question of, we pay, well, so okay, we're paying attention to them, but we're not giving them attention, right?
yeah.
But it's like, yeah, paying attention, we discount everything.
Right. Nope.
Giving attention, we all have a chance to kind of see it maybe a touch differently then, right? Or feel it a bit differently.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that's good. Well, all right. Well, at least I appreciate you taking the time after a very long day. I'm sure you probably need to go to bed. I don't know how you sleep
Yeah,
on a day like this. You need those like Norwegian blackout curtains,
I
but
should. No, I have a face mask that I took part of one face mask and sewed it onto the other face mask, so now it doesn't cut into my ears and it blocks out the light. So
see, look, there's that innovation right
mixing
there.
things together.
See, that's the fun thing, right?
Yeah,
You can see those little patterns and methodologies. So,
yeah.
I don't know if I would do that. I'd
Functionality.
just be, I would probably be just stupid and buy the Norwegian blackout curtains.
Yeah, if I had the means to do that, sure.
Yeah, but we all
My
know,
house is
right?
not an
So
apartment.
that's the cool part about it. You
But
got to innovate, right? But who knows? Maybe
yeah,
it's useful to somebody else. Maybe one day somebody, just one person hears it and that saves them, a lot of sleep. So you
yeah,
never know.
sure.
So,
Fine.
all right. Well, thank you for taking the time. We're gonna get running down actually to the Metro Raps thing. I'm gonna go
Oh,
with the
okay.
thing, and then we'll go from there. So, love you. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Get some sleep. We'll check you
Thanks
later.
for bringing us a project and bringing us together.
There we go. We can try. All we can do. Bye.
Bye.